All right. I'm short on time, so I'm going to make this video rather quick. Uh, yes, I have a lot of tabs I want to go over, so I'm going to skim through them, so just follow along. Because I said that the 20th is the next day in my forecast, that after the 20th, it's going to be really, really difficult to forecast. But I do have a few updates here. So just follow along. I'm going to skim through it because I honestly don't have a lot of time. So we're on the 12 hour and we're basically 1 hour away from the inauguration. Right now, Bitcoin is looking rather healthy. Right now, on this side, it came back into the Fibonacci, so it's fine. But I know you guys want to see more or less like when does this thing pop, top, crash, or whatnot. I'm going to zoom out a little bit over here. And I'm going to show you the cycles. Cycles are saying that we're close. We're not there yet, but we're either from this point forward, we're approaching the end of this run. I know some people don't believe that. Some people believe that we still got a long way to go. But according to all these charts, as soon as I'm done, I hope you all understand that this is basically saying no, that we have between now and April. I'll say it like that. Between now and April, there's a significant top. Now, I know you guys saying, oh, damn, that's a big ass window, dog. Yes, but notice that the price is like stuck in a range bound. And so I do expect one more thing to happen before it goes. And so I'm just going to start right now. I'm going to jump into the weekly. So on the weekly, um, you can't really tell what's going on. So I'm going to jump into a specific pattern so that I can explain what I see happening using the 3 week. So using the 3 week, you can see in the cycles, the ChatGPT indicator says this was a top, this was a top, this was a top. It's marking currently the top right before we go into a massive trough. Okay, so I believe, and I stand by what I said, that sometime in Q1 we see a blow off top. Now this blow off top would be for everything, for the stock market, for gold, silver, crypto, everything. But right now there's something that's strange, and from what I can tell, it's going to affect everything. And so we're 1 hour away from inauguration, so I'm rushing through this, but stick with me. All of this is saying that we've peaked. If I were to put a number on where we can blow off top, it would be 120 right here, resistance one. If you look at the top left, that would be the if it were to blow off, it would have to be the remainder of this month. That would be the quote unquote blow off top. And at that point, I think the altcoins also do their blow off top, and then everything begins its descent. Now, I do have a lot of charts that are going to be useful to predict this, so follow along. Okay, now we're looking at the MACD. So you can ignore on the left, just look at the MACD. This is the 12 hour, the 1 day, the 2 day, the 3 day. This is all based on the Bitcoin. Here, this weakness, I'm not worried about that. This one is something to consider that, okay, yeah, it's moving up. The 2 day flipping bullish is good. If the 3 day flips bullish, you have a solid chance that this can do what I'm thinking of, the blow off top. So that's why I see that. Otherwise, we're in the final stages of this run, and I know so many people think that's bullshit. It's ludicrous, but I do believe that after I show you what I have, you'll agree that we are in the final stages. And when I say final stages, I'm talking between now and April. There is a top, and then after that, that's it. It's going to be over for a good while. All right, so this will be the first one that shows a potential blow off top. The blow off top, according to this, would be, if we use this line, at 114 to a 119, a maximum of 128. That's what this is saying. Now, I don't believe we'll break this line, so I do believe if we were to blow off, it'll probably be at 115, 114 in that range, and then we begin a destructive descent. Okay. So just again, I'm going by cycles and charts here, so don't judge. This is a indicator that's forecasting the future movement of the coin. So just bear with me here because I got more charts and I'm rushing through them for this reason. Now, I know that some of you might say, what about the pi cycle top, right? That's going to keep running. That's true. Now, if the pi cycle top indicator is going to repeat itself, then that means we're looking beyond 140. Now, that's kind of tricky for me, but sure, maybe. Why not? So for the moment, I don't think that can happen, but I mean, the pi cycle indicator would say that it's at above 140. So I'm just going to say that, but I don't believe that's going to happen simply because everything else has fully topped and we're going into this election like this. Okay, so this is another indicator setup that you see with the cycles using the 2-week. This is a 2-week death cross, 2-week golden cross, 2-week golden cross. Down here is a 2-week death cross. Price kept moving, and as you can see, the 2-week here is weakening. Price is still moving, so we're beginning to see divergence here. Divergence means indicators are going in the opposite direction of the price. Okay. Now, again, a blow off top, I still think at 121 could be the absolute top right here. And then we begin a descent. Now, obviously, if we land at 80K, that's still in bullish territory. Anything below 80K here, we're in bearish territory. On the low side would be 50. On the catastrophic side would be 32. What do I think is going to happen? This is why I said after the 20th, it becomes really fucking difficult because I don't know how, if Trump is able to pull off everything he's promised, then that's good. But if Trump runs into any sign of issues or setbacks in his promises, then we should see this shit begin to decline. And that's why the cycles are basically saying that he's gonna run into a lot of problems. If we go by cycles are saying he's going to run into a lot of problems. And the indicators are saying that yes, he's going to run into so many problems, it might pull back significantly because he may not be able to keep some of his promises, essentially, is what this is saying. Okay, and so if you see here, this chart setup I've covered so many times in most of my videos. I had the red, yellow, and green, and I said green is a safe area, yellow is cautionary, red is we're in a dangerous area, and right now we're right above the red, which is at 105. I had the red box top out at 103. We're at 105, and the Elliott wave indicator is 5 out of 5 grand super cycles, and that means it's going to be a strong downtrend. It could be that this is the last major cycle of the cryptos. Now, let me repeat that again for those that don't understand what that means. If this is the last grand cycle, it means that whatever price we top out at on this cycle, we may have to wait minimum of 5 years to maximum of 10 years before we go back to this. So this is a tough one, but I just had to say that. So right now we are still within my threshold, just right above the extreme one. But I do think that we should healthy decline. The problem is Elliott wave says this is a grand super cycle top. And so if that's the case, again, look at the blue lines. Starts back in fucking 2019, 2020, the bottom. And then it says wave 3 at 2021, which is the Elon Musk top. And then down here is 2022. And here we are in 2025 top. So really, again, 2026 would be the low. And that I still have it in the 40s or worst case in the 30s. But I don't know which of these two lows is going to be the actual low. I need more data, but that's the forecast right now. Okay. This one with the indicator, it's also predicting. You see this, let me full screen. This cup and handle indicator is saying that we should top out at 124. Now I said 121 based on previous charts, but that's essentially it. And then you can see even the indicator saying a massive retracement into the 50s. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to explain more because it's just I need to rush through this. I got a lot more shit to cover. Um, Nothing new here. There's no point in covering this one. Um, yeah. So this is the one that is saying that we still have the blow off top, but I'm having difficulty believing that we still have the blow off top coming because I would say it's in the 120s basically. Is what this one is saying as well. If we go by this specific chart, this one is saying at 128. So really, all so far indicators are saying in the 20s, middle to high 20s is where the blow off top ends, and then we begin a descent. Now the descent takes us all the way out, according to this, into the middle of the year going forward. All right. Now this is where now we're looking at the dollar, and the dollar still has right now it has one sell signal, meaning dollar goes down, everything goes up, which is why I think the blow off top is here. But the problem is all the other indicators are saying it's bottomed, middle way. So it's basically saying the dollar might pull back a little bit here, which could be what causes the blow off top. But then the dollar will resume gaining strength, meaning deflation, meaning everything pulls back in price. And I mean everything. Okay. Okay. Again, the dollar. Look at I covered this dollar when it was down here, and I told everyone about this stuff. If you don't believe me, go back to around these dates, um, around September, around these dates. Just go back into the month of August and September, and look at my videos, and you'll see I was talking that the dollar is gonna rally here. I know I said, and that's based on these indicators. Now, right now the dollar has rallied and I have a sell signal. So which means again, if the dollar pulls back, that could be the blow off top that we're looking for the cryptos. But that may not be how can I put this into words? It may not be the blow off top everyone's talking about of 150 or whatever. I think it's going to be in the 120s before we begin a descent. Now, this descent is because with Trump, we might have a lot of chaos. He means well. He's trying to fix a lot of shit, but in fixing, he has to break a lot of stuff. Okay? So that could be if, let's say, if Doge, not the coin, but Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, if they succeed, you have to remember how many thousands and hundreds of thousands of people will be displaced from work. And if those people have crypto, they're going to sell in order to pay their debts and everything. So just use common sense. Why I think, again, his intentions are good, but in the process, he's going to have to cause pain. So this will be what we call normal. Now, this chart right here is for the S&P. Now, the blue lines are my reference point in order to put the picture in the back. This is the 1994, so I know that this is when it starts. This is January 2024 right here. So it's a reference point. That's what the blue lines are for. The ones I need you to look at are all the red lines. The red lines are when the 10-year treasury crosses the black line moving up. Every time that happens, every time, there's a market decline, a strong decline, followed within a month to two. So let me repeat that again, because this is where I think why we're heading into a destructive crash within the next month, 2 months. Again, follow along. The 10-year treasury crossing up the black line and the red line here that you see going from left to right, that's the S&P 500. Every time this line crosses up, immediately, like within 30 to 60 days, this thing begins to go down. Happens again here. Crossed up right there, it crossed and it went down. We crossed up and there was the 2020 crash. We've just crossed up, so we're now in a countdown waiting to see how bad this crash is going to be. Now, just remember this chart and watch the next chart. Cycles are saying the same thing, and guess what? The MACD on the long term right here crossed up, crossed down, crossed up, crossed down, crossed up. It just crossed down right here. Now, on the right side, the 2-day, the 3-day, and then the trend confirmation. Look at that. The trend confirmation has confirmed a downtrend, and look at the cycles and everything, just like the MACD. So cycles and the MACD are in agreement. We have a surprise crash on the horizon. Now, this is something I want everyone to remember, that I'm calling it right here, according to my cycles and according to the indicators. We have a crash that's going to be significant, and it's going to be painful. Let me save it. All right. According to this one, we're within the cautionary zone for crypto. And you see, we hit the top of that box, and I know I covered this, but with the blow off top, assuming it does happen, I would expect it to hit somewhere in here, but like around at maximum April. If I had to push this out, I would say May would be the final. I don't think it can go beyond May. So in fact, I'm just gonna shrink it back one, because I don't know how this can go past that, but wow. So I believe somewhere here to here is where we top out at the blow off top. Cannot go above this powerful line. So that's why I'm saying somewhere in here. And then we begin a descent. Now, the descent, I don't want to even discuss, but I think the descent is going to be problematic. So let me extend this line right here to this line right here. So if we were to descend, we could descend into 60, or at the worst case, 58, which is not that bad, but that's what I see here. Okay. Anyways, just needed to point that out, that that's where I see this. Okay. Okay. So this is an important chart. On the left, you see this indicator at the bottom marked the top. So this is the indicator I'm waiting for to signal the top, and why I believe there's a blow off top on the verge of happening, or currently happening, or will happen within the next by the end of the month. Why? Because if you see, when this thing hit here, price topped out. When these things hit right here, the yellow line, they topped out. They're about to hit, and I think this is the next top. Now, this is the first indicator that I think on the 3-week that can mark the top. Now I'm going to show you another chart that says the same thing, that we're either right now topping, about to top at the end of this month, or we're topping within the next February or into March. But just follow along, people. This is important stuff. This one is already in a sell signal. It's close to getting to a strong sell, which at that point it means get out, because the pullback is not going to be a pullback. It's going to be a somewhat of a surprise crash. But we're not there yet. According to this, we have a little bit of time left. But we are, if you see the top one, we've hit the top, we've hit the top, we've hit the top, we hit the top. We're hitting the top again, so we're there, okay? This one again, see, it's trying to top back out, like it's trying to stay up there, but I think it's holding out till the inauguration. So I'm running because I need to wrap this shit up. Yeah, all of these are saying the same, but they're also saying that we got to pull back. Where is it? This one is saying midway, trying to turn back up. This one is trying to turn. This one is at the top trying to push more, but most of these are already saying pullback. Even the Renko is saying that, right? So, again, to summarize, the S&P is signaling a crash. Bitcoin is signaling a top. And so from this point forward, I think I'll do one video on the Sundays after the weekly close, and we'll go with that. I think that's it. Good luck, everyone.